your destiny. TheorySabers.com.
Why does Soul feel a connection to Osha so immediately? And specifically, why does he feel like she's meant to be as a Padawan? I wanted to keep some mystery around that. I wanted to definitely call back to Qui-Gon, call forward to Qui-Gon and Anakin. Qui-Gon almost immediately zeroes in on the potential that Anakin has, the specialness of Anakin, the exceptionalism of Anakin. No, he does not. It takes him a long time to kind of come to the point where he realizes Anakin is actually special. It's not like, I am Anakin, oh my god, the chosen one, holy shit! Which is literally what Soul was doing, hiding behind frickin' trees, and his pupils were dilated as he saw these children. He's like, oh my god, they're going to be the best Jedi ever. They're going to be my apprentice. He's like essentially going through baby fever, what like a woman would go through baby fever. He's essentially going through that with a Padawan fever. He wants a Padawan of his own, and he doesn't have one. And for some reason, he's hell-bent on training one of the twins or both of them. And then when he finds out that they were artificially made through the Force, he's even more hell-bent on it. But Qui-Gon Jinn, he took so much time to kind of feel Anakin out, see him out, see like, okay, well, like, how does he do with the pod race? He's got gifts. He tells Shmi. He sees things before they happen. It's a Jedi trait. He's starting to understand and believe. He does tests. He literally tests Anakin's blood. And then he's sitting there thinking. And Obi-Wan's like, it's off the charts, Master. I don't know. It's 20,000. And he's like, what does this mean? And Qui-Gon's just looking there and he's like, I don't know. Nowhere in that moment is he like, he's the chosen one. I need to take him to the council and train him immediately. It's like, no, dude. He's literally like still with midichlorians higher than Grandmaster Yoda. He's sitting there perplexed. Like, I don't know what this means. And he's pondering on it and thinking. And still, he takes him to the council to be trained, to be requested to be trained. Please tell me you have hire better writers that know Star Wars. Hire people that understand the first 6 films like the back of their hand, because you won't get mistakes like this. Qui-Gon and Anakin are nothing like Soul and Osha and May, not even comparable, but yet you're trying to copy and paste and we see what you're doing. Soul is like this extremely emotional, unbalanced, un-Jedi-like being who can't contain any level of emotion from spilling out, whereas Qui-Gon is always composed and always keeps his shit together like a man. There's just something that he feels within his connection with the Force, her strength in the Force, and how he recognizes that. Well, how does he recognize that if the power is amplifying their abilities? And so if that's the case, then when they go off planet, aren't they supposed to be much, much weaker? None of this makes any sense. Clearly wasn't thought out when she was writing it. And I always wondered, having seen The Phantom Menace and seen Qui-Gon behave the way they did, I did wonder, is this how it happened? Or do you just get matched up with somebody? And a much more compelling, interesting storyline is, as a Jedi Knight moving into Master, to identify your apprentice in a deep spiritual connection, whether it's out in the world or at the temple, as opposed to being paired up with someone. Well, yeah, it would be the same way with your dog. We all have special connections with our dogs because we're putting the time and energy into those memories and having connections with that being, with that soul. It's the same with your child or your apprentice or whatever. That's not really a totally unique thing in the sense that like it can only happen with that one person. Whoever you put your focus, your energy and time with, you will build some kind of a connection. It may not be the best. I mean, for example, look at Yoda and Dooku, look at Obi-Wan and Anakin. But then, you know, you get a great master and apprentice relationship. You look at Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, right, for example. Or, you know, even Yoda and Master Windu, for example. I would even say Anakin and Ahsoka had a pretty good connection. I'm glad you brought up Qui-Gon because I want to ask about Anakin. I think the connections between the twins and Anakin were obvious even before this episode, but I want to focus on their differences. Specifically, this idea that their one consciousness split into 2 bodies. Why would that make them stronger, aka the power of 2, and not weaker if they're 2 halves of one whole? I think it's both. The girls are guinea pigs. They're patient 0 for this sort of power. It didn't work perfectly. Therefore, the girls on their own can never be as powerful as Anakin. Their full potential together has yet to be explored. They've been separated too long. Okay, so they're dyad. Cool, more dyad shit. I don't know, man. It's like in Dragon Ball Z when you get Goku and Vegeta fusing, they become like this ultimate powerful being. But now she's saying that like they're stronger when they're apart, when they're split. It's like when you're doing an experiment and it's the first round of it. There are maybe not an experiment of creating Force-sensitive children from the Force, which is something that Palpatine and Plagueis could never do. All right, got you. Cool. They are maybe not the first, but one of the first experiments of this particular use of power. So the twins are weaker than Anakin for sure. They're going, oh, she has to say that now. I feel like the reporter went through like a list of all the YouTubers' comments and discourse about the show, and he's just trying to hit on all those. And so Leslie's like trying to do damage control on all of those plot-breaking points that she created because there are so many questions now. So the Nerdist reached out and they're like, hey, let's address all of the things that, you know, these YouTubers are talking about, these people online are talking about, and, you know, you can, like, fix everything. Yeah, that'd be a great idea. No, that's not how this works. They're going to fall short of what will eventually become the Chosen One. They will never achieve what that is because, in my mind, NSA could only do so much.